our straight punches, okay? So our straight punches, very, very basic strikes in Muay Thai, but they're super important, especially the jab, okay? We're gonna use that a lot in Muay Thai to set up our range, to keep opponents off of us, and also set up our other strikes. So we're first gonna get into it. When you throw your jab, or even your cross, so this is gonna be your lead hand's gonna be called your jab, and your rear hand's gonna be called your cross, you wanna take a step, okay, with your front leg only. This is going to allow you to get into range, land the strike, and then come right back. If you just stay stationary here like this here, if he throws a jab, if Coach Gabe throws a jab from here, it's real easy for me to throw a hook at him. But if he steps into it, and I throw my hook, see, I miss. So that's one reason why it's very important to step. Also, too, for balance purposes. And if he throws a strike at me, I'm probably going to be backing up, so you need to cover that distance with that step. So always remember, you need a step on all your strikes, but especially your straight punches. Now, with the jab, I want to make sure that my shoulder is tight to my chin here as I throw that jab. If it's not tight to my chin here, what happens here is if my guard's up here, and see how Gabe, he leaves a lot of space in between his chin and shoulder, what'll happen here, go ahead, throw the jab here, he'll hit part of my arm. So that simply by me just having my guard up here like this, I'm gonna block part of his jab just because he's got a lot of space in between his chin and his shoulder. So what he wants to do is minimize that space by hugging the chin, so hugging the chin. All right. So once he does that here, notice how he goes right through my guard and he's able to hit me in the face. Okay. You also want to do that with your rear too. You want to make sure that shoulder is tucked. Okay. Now, with the rear cross, what you want to do is you want to step just like you do on the jab, but you can step slightly offline, so I can step slightly to the side. Now it's very important, when I throw that strike, I want to make sure that I'm moving my shoulder and my hip together. If I don't do that here, my punch falls short. So I need to make sure that my shoulder and my hip turn together. So you'll see this with Gabe as he steps. See how he turns? Now he's going to do it without turning. See how he's short? So you got to make sure that you turn that hip and that shoulder. So you're going to be on your back toe, heel off the ground, he's going to step, and then he can throw the cross and land it. All right, one more time. Good. Also, and he also has that shoulder tucked here, so he's getting through that guard. Okay. Now, a couple other tips on your straight punches. You want to make sure when you're throwing your straight punches that your hand and your wrist are tight. Okay. So I don't want to keep my wrist and my hand or my arm completely level here. I want to slightly bend that down. That's going to give me more stability in the wrist when I'm punching here, and it's also going to give me way more power, okay? Also, too, I want to make sure I'm only hitting with the knuckle and the index, or I'm sorry, the index and the middle, all right? If I don't want to be hitting with these knuckles here, they don't line up with the hand right, and also, too, over time, you'll start to injure your hand if you're hitting too much with these knuckles here. You want to be hitting with the middle knuckle and index knuckle here, okay? So Gabe's going to do that now. He's going to make sure he's pitching his hand slightly down, not a whole lot, just enough to where it strengthens that whole arm. Also, too, he's not hyperextending his arm all the way out here. There's a slight bend to give him more stability, so when he does throw strong, straight strikes, he's not going to injure his elbow. So he'll start with the jab here, good, and then go with the cross. Good. Jab, good, cross, good. Also, too, you see Gabe, as he's throwing these strikes here, his other hand's staying up. I don't want to, as I throw my straight strikes here, is drop my hand. I see this a lot. In boxing, they call this bow and arrowing. So like a person that would pull back a bow and arrow, this happens to people that drop their opposite hand when they're throwing their strike here. You don't want to do that. That's going to leave you open to counter strikes. Okay?